During Variety's Entertainment and Technology Summit, Nappy TV sat in on the television ecosystem session to hear from leading studio and network executives and independent producers as to the challenges and opportunities for all content producers today.
I want to keep the introduction short because I want to get to everything. To my immediate right, Mark Graboff is chairman of NBC Entertainment and Universal Media Studios and has been a fixture at the network since 1997. He oversees both the network and the studio side and rose through the ranks as a business affairs executive. John Landgraf is the general manager and president of FX. The network has had an array of hits under his tenure, including The Shield, one of my personal favorites of all time, Nip Tuck, Damages, and his newest hit, Sons of Anarchy. Mark Hoops is the managing director at Reveille and a co-creator and executive producer of the big reality hit The Biggest Loser, as well as other top reality shows. And Dana Walden, for the past 10 years, has been the chairman of 20th Century Fox Television. The shows she has produced under her tenure include 24, How I Met Your Mother, The Simpsons, and Bones. Congratulations. I guess starting off, going down the line, just kind of a general assessment of the TV business right now. It's gone through a lot of ups and downs in the past few years, broadcast and cable, everything going on. I start with Mark. How do you see the business right now?
You said going down the line. I thought you'd start.
I'm so happy.
General assessment of the TV business is, the good news is more people are watching TV than ever before. The bad news is that broadcast networks are not able to monetize it the way we used to be because of the DVR effect. So the good news is that there's always a demand for great content. Our challenge is to figure out how to monetize it. And we're trying to do that with ventures like Hulu, NBC.com, and we're trying to figure out a way to capture the audience that is watching all of network shows so in any different platform that they watch it on, so that we can then go to advertisers and get paid for it. And right now that's not happening, but we're on the way to hopefully being able to do that.
John, why don't you go from there?
I mean, I think it's increasingly difficult to sustain the content business without some kind of a pay revenue stream. I think the broadcast networks are all finding that. They still have mass and tonnage, but they're struggling because they have one revenue stream. They may be studio and also make money from content, but the basic cable model or the premium cable model is really a more vibrant economic model, and I think we all suspect the broadcast networks are going to have to find a way to fix that, and relatively soon. We're suffering from the DVR too, though. I mean, it's making a very, very significant impact, and I think the concern that all of us have over time is that the consumer there's always been some kind of exchange. The consumer has loved our content, really the content created by the very talented people that work with us, and they've paid in some manner by watching a commercial, by subscribing to a basic cable network or premium cable network, or buying a DVD or an iTunes download. And now there's a small but growing body of consumers who somehow believe that it's just wrong to pay for any content through any of those means, that one should neither subscribe nor watch commercials. And I think the challenge that all of us have as an industry is to figure out how to get some appropriate level of compensation so that we can sustain the vibrant creative community that we've all had the opportunity to work for, so that people can make money making this content. I think we've made a lot of headway in the last 10 years, but I don't think the end is in view yet.
Mark?
Yeah, I mean, as an independent producer, I mean, the business model is definitely shifting, definitely changing, and with that, I believe there becomes huge opportunity for all of us to recreate the business models these guys are talking about, and doing it in unique ways. We have to be open to doing things in a much more proactive way, whether it be with advertisers or with our network partners. But it's certainly been a challenging year, but I think hugely optimistic. I mean, I think you look at what's out there in both cable and network. People are going to look back and say it's halcyon days of television. I mean, I think there's great shows, both scripted and unscripted. Across so many platforms. It's trying to launch a new show is the hardest thing, because there's just so many great choices out there. And then how do you launch a new show with shifting audience patterns, et cetera. I think we have to look at it and maybe look at how features launch in their business and try and replicate that model in the TV business.
Dana?
Well, I mean, obviously I agree with everything that's been said so far. I do think it is a particularly good time creatively in our business right now. I look at the shows that our competitors are producing. We have 3 new shows in Glee, Modern Family, and Cleveland, which have already been ordered for back nines, and with Cleveland a full second season. And I feel like the work is great, and that is representative in how people are coming, and greater numbers are coming to watch our shows. You know, the bar is incredibly high now. The middle has sort of fallen out. You know, you can't just have a mid-level hit anymore and say if we get to 4 seasons, everything is going to be great and the studio is going to sort of be repaid for its efforts and make some money. It's really, we started about 8 or 9 years ago looking at our business in a very different way, which is just getting a network order is really not a business. You know, the business for us is how do you get to syndication? How do you create shows that are viable internationally? What can you do to create viable DVD hits and things that people are going to watch over and over again online through EST and the various other digital platforms? And so the bar is incredibly high, but I think the creative material is meeting that bar and exceeding it in many cases.
You made a comment that when people are launching new television shows, they might want to look to the feature film model for launching releases. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think just, you know, now you have to, how do you create noise? It's no longer enough to rely on the network to tell people your show's on. So how do you let people know the show's on? You know, whether that's working with big, you know, packaged good companies or big, you know, marketing firms, you know, you have to let people know the show's on the air, and when it's on the air, you know, to drive the audience. It's no longer enough to wait, you know, on a 30-second spot on the network. You know, that's not enough. So I just mean, you know, be open to all avenues of promotion.
Now, you've had great success with The Biggest Loser, but even you admit that it took some time for the mass audience to find the show. Would it be possible to replicate that in today's fractured marketplace?
I believe it is. I believe, you know, networks are showing a willingness, you know, to stick with shows and stick with quality shows. And again, you know, if you have that core constituency to show up, or you have, you know, the supportive advertisers and, you know, as you know, advertising partners who go to the network and are, you know, happy to, you know, are paying a good CPM and are making it a profitable show for the network, you know, and you can begin to, you know, show there's a business model. And I think we all have to look at the business model, and that is, you know, ultimately the networks or studios or ourselves, you know, in it to, you know, to make money and, you know, and hopefully tell great stories, you know, along that way. And I think it's all about telling a great story first and foremost, but then telling a great story for, you know, in a business model that makes sense.
Speaking of business models, we've all heard about how production budgets are being tightened, and that we're looking for ways to monetize content on the in the internet world. Do you think that through this technology that there'll be a push to change the data model as well? I know there was a bit of a talk about CIMM and Nielsen coming around to being more representative of the changing viewing habits. Do you see a date when that might happen?
You know, I think that's still, you know, a ways off. You know, I mean, I think everyone likes to sort of sort of foretell the death of something, you know, quicker than it, you know, truly is happening. Look, it's a continual evolution, and we'll move down that path. It's not like tomorrow we're going to switch, or 6 months we're going to switch, or a year we're going to switch. You know, but, you know, I think, you know, it's talking, I say, with the studios and the networks and the advertisers, you know, and recognizing what the business model needs to become for each and every one of them, and then trying to find something that works where, you know, everybody feels that they're getting some benefit, you know, in the game.
Great. That's all my questions.